Hello everyone, I'm the Sylvan, I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Dragon Age Origins. I know, you've had 2 Codex readings in a row, and I'm sorry you're gonna get a 3rd one. But there was a lot to cover apparently, and I am really sorry it took me so long to get to them. I do not mean for it to keep piling up like this. Anyway, let us get into it, shall we? Entry 119. Culture of Ferelden. The Fereldans are a puzzle. No, we're not. We're pretty straightforward. As a people, they are one day away from reverting to barbarianism. It's only true for the southern part of the continent, the Alvar and the Chastened. They repelled invasions from Tevinter during the height of the Imperium with nothing but dogs and their own obstinate disposition. Yeah, kind of badass. They are the coarse, willful, dirty, disorganized people who somehow gave rise to our prophet, ushered in an era of enlightenment, and toppled the greatest empire in history. Yeah, they're kind of badass. There are few things that can assume safely in dealing with these people. First, they value loyalty above all things, beyond wealth, beyond power, beyond reason. Second, although they have nothing in their entire country which you are likely to think at all remarkable, wow, the shade, they are extremely proud of their accomplishments. Third, if you insult their dogs, dude, you don't even have to finish their sentence. They will get pissed. Also, don't insult someone's dog. Dogs are awesome. They are likely to declare war. Good, as they should. Dogs are awesome. And finally, the surest sign that you have underestimated the Fereldans is that you think you have come to understand them. Empress Celine I of Orlais, in a letter to her newly appointed ambassador to Denrim. You know, that is actually a very Orlesian sentiment there. It is practically a stereotype. Anyway, moving on. 123. 123. Politics of Ferelden. To our neighbors, Ferelden seems utterly chaotic. Yeah, and? Unlike other monarchies, power does not descend from the throne. Rather, it arises from support of the freeholders. Aw, we're gonna be something cool. Each freehold chooses a ban or Arl to whom it pays allegiance. Typically, this choice is based on proximity to the freehold to the Lord's castle, as it's worthless to pay for the upkeep of soldiers who will arrive at your land too late to defend it. For the most part, each generation of freeholders cast its lot with the same ban as their father did. But things can and do change. No formal oaths are sworn, and it is not unheard of, especially in prickly central Banorn, for bans to court freeholders away from their neighbors, a practice which inevitably begets feuds that last for ages. Yeah, good times. Terrans arose from amongst the bans, war leaders who, in antiquity, have grown powerful enough to move their bands to swear fealty to them. There were many Terrans in the day before King Callan had, but he succeeded in whittling them down to only 2, Gwarn in the south, Hiever in the north. These Terrans still hold the oaths of bans and Arls, who they may call upon if the event of war or disaster, and simply, the Terrans still hold the responsibility of defending these sworn to them. Aw, good for them. Responsibility. The Arls were established by the Terrans, given command of strategic fortresses that could not be overseen by the Terrans themselves, because, they got stuff to do and lives to live. Unlike the Terrans, the Arls have no bans sworn to them, and are simply somewhat more prestigious bans. The king is, in essence, the most powerful of the Terrans. Although Denrim was originally a Terran of the king, it has since been reduced to an Arling, as the king's domain is now all of Ferelden. But even the king's power must come from the bans. Nowhere is this more evident than during the Landsmeet, an annual council for which all the nobles of Ferelden gather, held for almost 3,000 years, except odd interruptions during the blights and invasions. The The slight of the king asks for, and working to win, the support of lesser men is a source of constant wonder to foreign ambassadors. From Ferelden, Folklore and History, by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. I feel like her and Genevieve should hook up. I don't mean like make out hook up, although that would be interesting. But it would be kind of nice to have the two be and exchange ideas. Entry 124, the Frostback Mountains. That beautiful place that Ulrika comes from under. Even mountains had a heart once. When the world was young, Corf the Mountain Father kept his throne at the peak of Belenos, the mountains that lie in the center of the world, from which he could see all corners of earth and sky. And he saw strong men become weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. Corf devised a plan that he might never be betrayed by his own heart, by taking it out and hiding it where no soul would ever dare search for it. "That's a plan!" Blink, blink. He sealed it inside a golden cask, buried it in the earth, and raised it around it the fiercest mountains the world had ever seen, the Frostbacks, to guard it. And nothing could go wrong from this plan. Nothing. Except for everything. But without his heart, the Mountain Father grew cruel. His chest was filled with bitter mountain's wind that shrieked and howled like lost souls. Food lost its flavor, music had no sweetness, and he lost all joy in deeds of valor. He sent avalanches and earthquakes to torment the tribes of man. Gods and men rose against him, calling him a tyrant, but with no heart, Corf could not be slain. Well, yeah. Soon there were no heroes left, either among men or gods. Who would dare challenge Corf? Wow, Lady of Sky's birds must have been feasting like crazy. Oh, speaking of which, the Lady of the Sky sent the best of her children, the swiftest, the cleverest, the strongest flyers, to scour the mountains for the missing heart, and for a year and a day they searched. But Sparrow and Raven, Vulture and Eagle, Swift and Albatross returned to her with nothing. Then the Ptarmigan spoke up, and offered to find the God Chief's heart. Yay? Go, you plucky little bird, you. The other birds laughed, for the Ptarmigan is a tiny bird, too humble to soar, which spends half its time hopping along the ground. The lady would not give the little creature her blessing, for the mountains were too fierce even for eagles. Oh, I don't know about that. Eagle's reach will very much care to argue this point. But the Ptarmigan sent out anyway. Because priorities. The little bird traveled deep into the Frostbacks. When she could not fly, she crawled. She hugged the ground and weathered the worst mountain winds, and so made her lonely way to the valley where the heart beat. Wait, wasn't the heart in the mountain? I'm confused. With all the gods' terrible deeds, the heart was far too heavy for the tiny bird to carry, so she rolled it. Of course, 'cause that's how that works. Little by little, out of the valley and down a cliff, and when the golden cast struck the earth, it shattered. The heart was full almost to bursting, and the pain of it aroused the mountain god to come see what had happened. Oops. Actually, yeah, given how pure gold is actually a really soft metal, I don't know if it would shatter, though, as much as break. I have questions. When Corf neared his heart, it leapt back into his chest, and he was whole again. Then Haakon's winter's breath bound Corf's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so it could never again escape, and all the remaining gods named the Ptarmigan honored above even the loftiest of eagles. Except for Clever, because I'm horribly biased toward my character. The Ptarmigan, an Avar tale, from Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Yeah, good times. Anyway, 132, the old gods. Dumont, the dragon of silence. Zazekiel, the dragon of chaos. Toth, the dragon of fire. Ondorel, the dragon of slaves. Urthamiel, the dragon of beauty. Razikael, the dragon of mystery. Lysakhan, the dragon of night. The Dragon Bunch, the Dragon Bunch. Guess that trick doesn't really work. There were 7 old gods, great winged dragons that were said to rule over the ancient world. The Chantry maintains that they are responsible for the original sin, and they turned humanity away from the true creator through deceit. Humanity's faith faltered, and thus the Maker turned away from the world. Yeah, this just makes the Maker look really insecure. But not before trapping the old gods in the eternal prisons beneath the earth as punishment. Yeah, I don't believe that for 5 seconds. Scholars assume that the old gods must indeed have been real at one point. Well, yeah, if they're turning into archdemons now, they kind of have to be real. But most agree that they were likely actual dragons. Do they? Do they really? Ancient high dragons, of magnitude not known today, and impressive enough to frighten ancient peoples into worshipping them. Some even claim that these dragons slumber as a form of hibernation, not as a result of the Maker's wrath. Could be. Regardless of the truth, legend maintains that even in their underground prisons, the old gods were able to whisper to the minds of men. The Archon, Thalsane, first of the Magisters, who claimed to have contacted the old god Dumont, used the blood magic Dumont taught him to attain incredible power in Tevinter, and declare himself the ruler of an empire. That's kind of ballsy. In return, he established the first temples worshipping the old gods, and the dragons became equated everywhere with imperial power. But not puppy power. To date, 4 of the old gods are said to have arisen as corrupted archdemons. Dumont, the first, and most powerful, was slain at the Battle of the Silent Fields. Sozekiel fell at the Battle of Starkhaven. Toth died at the Battle of Hunterfell, and Andorel was felled by Gerenhel, the legendary Grey Warden, at the Battle of Elais. Or Esale? My apologies, I have no idea how that's pronounced. The archdemons have been identified only after years of argument among the scholars, and to this day it is unclear whether the archdemons were truly old gods, and not simply dragons. All that is known is that the Darkspawn hunt for them deep underground. If they are truly old gods, as many scholars believe, then we have only 3 blights remaining. And then I'm curious what happens after that. Like, what are the Darkspawn gonna do when there's no more old gods to go looking for to corrupt? Are they just gonna move on to normal dragons? I have so many questions. When the old gods have risen and been slain, however, what will happen? Will the blight end forever, and humanity earn forgiveness from the Maker at last? We shall see. Somehow I doubt it. From the old gods rise again Sister Mary, Chantry Scholar, 850, blessed. Yeah, I somehow doubt the Maker's gonna forgive you once the last archdemon is slain. I really doubt that. Anyway, we are gonna script down quite a bit to 151, the Canary. The Canary. Anyone who travels far enough to the north will eventually encounter the Canary. White-haired, bronze-skinned giants, a head again taller than a man, with frighteningly calm demeanors, and a sort of sparkling fire behind their eyes. Stan, can I look at your eyes and see if there's fire behind them? And somebody's going, no, go away. For quite a long time, people believed that all Canary were male. Really? Why? Or that their men and women were simply indistinguishable. Bullshit! It was not until the Blessed Age that diplomats from Raveni were allowed, however briefly, to visit Parvalin, and there they discovered the Canary females do exist in abundance. Gee, who knew? And they're quite easily recognized. Yeah! Who knew? The Raveni say that Canary have a certain kindness to them, or at least a conspicuous lack of cruelty, although I did not observe the creatures closely enough to evaluate their character. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Janet Tavy. That guy. Yeah. There's a lot by him. Oh, homestretch. Raveni, 153. Nowhere in my travels, not in the heart of the Imperium, nor the streets of Orzammar, have I felt so much in outsiders and Ravani. The chant of light never truly reached the ears of these people. The years they spent under the thumb of the Qunari left them most of the country's zealous followers of the Qun. But resistance to the chant goes deeper than the Qunari War. The Ravani refused to be parted from their seers, wise women, who are in fact hedge mages, communicating with the spirits and actually allowing themselves to become possessed. The chantry prohibition against such magical practices violates millennia of local tradition. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Janativi. That guy. He has been everywhere, hasn't he? 156. The Geography of Thetis. This should be fun. Thetis is bounded to the east by the Amaranthian Ocean, to the west by Titishan Forest and Huntshorn Mountains, to the south by the snowy wastes that lie beyond the Orkney Mountains, and to the north by Donrock Forest. The word Thetis is Tevinter in origin, originally used to refer to the lands that border the Imperium. As the Imperium lost its stranglehold on conquered nations, more and more lands become Thetis until finally people applied the name to the entire continent. Interesting, so it's the continent, not the world. Interesting. The northern part of Thetis is divided amongst the Anderfels, the Tevinter Imperium, Antiba, and Ravani, with the islands held by the Qunari just off the coast. Central Thetis consists of the Free Marches, Nevara, and Orlais, with Ferelden to the south. What lies beyond the snowy wastes is a mystery. The freezing temperatures and barren lands have kept even the most intrepid cartographers at bay. Ah, come on, dude, just get some our pelts and go for it. Similarly, the western reaches of the Anderfels have never been fully explored. Oh, guys, let's go explore it, come on. Even by the Anders themselves. We do not know if they are dry steeps, or shadowed by the mountains, or if they extend all the way to a nameless sea. Wait, no one's ever done the sail around the world thing? That's weird. There must be other lands, continents, or islands, perhaps across the Amaranthian or north of Parvalin, for the Qunari arrived in Thetis from somewhere. But beyond that, deduction, we know nothing. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Tales of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Janativi. Phew, that was quite a bit under there. As you see, there's actually still quite a bit from cultures and history we don't have yet. Interesting. Anyway, characters! 29 through 30. Another one that's almost done. Wow. Time has been moving, hasn't it? Anyway, 170. Arl Eamon. Gooding. However it's pronounced. I am really bad at saying names, folks. I think you know what you're going to get when you show up to one of my videos. Anyway, nobility does not exist without obligation. We owe all we have, even our lives, to our land and our people. As the maternal uncle of King Kaelin, Arl Eamon is one of the king's most trusted advisors. Yeah, he is. Redcliffe, while not a large or especially wealthy part of the Ferelden, is a critical strategic location. The fortress guards the western pass that leads to Orlais, as well as the major trade routes for Orzammar. A well-respected man, though not the most charismatic. True, very true. King Kaelin once said of him, "My Uncle Eamon is a man," of course, "is a man everyone thinks well of, when they remember to think of him at all." Ouch, dude, harsh. He fell ill with a mysterious condition that even magic could not treat. I know about that. I think we did well. It was no common ailment. Eamon was poisoned by a blood mage, Joan. Yeah, that happened. Who claimed to be working for Terran Logain, the Arl's life was saved only by the most extraordinary measures. Yay, magic and rituals. Finding the urn of sacred ashes means the remains of Andraste herself. Yeah, we did that. Go us. Woo! Wow, this is the last one. Cool. And how fitting, it is Brother Janativi, Chantry Scholar. Brother Fernanded Genitivi. As it is the duty of all true sons of the Chantry to make the chant heard from every corner of the world, I made it my mission to find as many corners of the world as possible. The Maker can hardly expect us to do one without the other. Excerpt from In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Tales of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genitivi. Yeah, he has led a very, very busy life. I want the Brother Genitivi novel. The more of these I read, the more I'm convinced he would make a fascinating novel. Or comic book, just something. I want to see his travels. Brother Genitivi is one of the Chantry's most well-known scholars, primarily on the basis of the stories he has published, which many of his contemporaries dismiss as fanciful, of his travels across the lengths and breadth of Thetis. His travels, or rather to a curious nature, led him to study of folklore, which gave him the notion that he could track down the most debated of all artifacts, the Urn of Sacred Ashes. No, he didn't. Nope, never found them. They weren't there. Nope, not at all. Nope, it was empty. And I don't know how the Earl got better. Just did. Anyway, he announced that he had found what appeared to be a trail to the urn. And that was mistake number 1. Left in the legends of the regions through which he passed from Mithrathos on its way into hiding. And he appeared to have been right. No, he wasn't. Nope, there was nothing there. Empty. The final resting place of Andraste lay at the summit of the remote mountain. Yeah, but which one? There's so many in the prospect chain. He returned to Denham a little worse for wear, and was granted funds and manpower to mount an expedition to study the temple in which the urn is kept. What temple? What is he talking about? I don't know. Ulrica's gonna play dumb. She is telling him nothing. Because there's only so many ashes in that urn. And yeah, they worked on Eamon. But at the same time, dwarf. This is not the stone. This makes no sense. This is just the humans believing these ashes have healing powers, and thus they heal. Yeah, that's as far as she got. She does not need a war to start out over who gets the ashes, because again, there are only so many. And I actually do wish they would give you the option to hide the urn, so people can't just come and take some whenever they want. This is also why Ulrica has not gone back and talked to Genitivi about, oh hey, by the way, this is here, you should go look into it. She is going to keep that information to herself, because she does not need to spark war. But, this is actually going to be a short video, but I feel after 3 videos in a row of, and Codex time, it's enough. I need a break. I think you guys need a break. I think next time when we come back, we are going to... Yeah, I think it's time. Let's kick off the Landsmeet next time. But that will be for next. So, until then, Tek Likatilok Hido.